There's a video I wanted to watch on stream that I haven't watched yet. I was meaning to do it quite some time ago, like a month ago, because Mira had linked me and she wanted to see my reaction to it, but I never got around to it. And I was looking through my watch later playlist and I saw it and I was like, oh, that'd be good to watch on stream, because I already know from watching I only watched the first few seconds. I already know it's gonna be some kind of shit show, so why not watch it together? If you're already a porn star, so to speak, I hate that term. It kind of makes sense to go with another one.
Sex with? Do you know the number?
Rather than ruin someone else's life.
No.
Over 100 people, I think. I mean, I guess it's not a lot, is it? I don't know. I've lost all perspective.
I have a list in my phone.
He, by the way, this person I think is artificial male. They are female to male. I think this is that buck person. And I don't think they had a genital surgery or anything. So it's very strange when you Google their name, just like as a warning. You might see, if you have your filter off, you might see images of them with their legs spread, and you might be shocked, like, you know, seeing of a hoo-ha instead of what you think you'll see, because they pass very well. But yeah, that's crazy that they had over 100. They just lost count. Like, that's just...
Is it? I don't know. I've lost all perspective.
I have a list in my phone. Okay, the number right now is at 69.
I'm sorry, guys. I have no idea.
When you have to make
At first,
notes.
I was like all proud, but now I'm ashamed to say that. Because you have sex so much. You'll literally walk to a person and be like, hey, nice to meet you. And they'll be like, no, we had sex last week. And then you're like, oh, I'm so sorry.
How different is your personal sex life
Totally normal.
your on camera sex life? My sex life off camera is definitely more intimate. Like, I can actually touch them and feel them on my chest and everything. We don't have to worry about letting the camera see all the action.
Of course you enjoy
I
the
kind
sex
of
and
doubt,
you want
I
to
have to say, I kind of doubt that there's as much intimacy as there would be with two people that are in a committed relationship of any kind, that are committed to one another and loyal to one another. Because, like, how could she... I get she's saying the camera is off, right? And that changes it a little bit in terms of, like, oh, I can get in a comfier position. But I have a hard time believing that it's really truly intimate when you've devalued it so much and you've done it for money so many times. It's literally a transaction to you. Sex is transactional. So I just don't think that in her perspective, it's intimate, but I think that if she had never done this, what intimacy is to her would be very different.
Letting the camera see all the action.
Of course you enjoy the sex and you want to enjoy the sex, but at the end of the day, it's all a performance.
90% of the things I do on camera, I do not want to do in my room.
Ooh, that's not good. She's saying that she does things that are things that she wouldn't want to do sexually. That sounds kind of like, I don't know, kind of the R word-y. Like vapey with an R. That's how it sounds to me.
At the end of the day, it's all a performance.
90% of the things.
And her saying it's a performance, I think, comes across as very similar to when R-word victims, victims of, you know, assault and such, I think it's very similar to how they disassociate to cope. You can see that the porn star is seemingly doing the same thing. That's how it comes across to me, in my opinion, that's dissociation when you're saying that.
I do on camera, I do not
Want to enjoy the sex, but at the end of the day, it's all a performance.
90%.
Like, she's separating something that's intimate as a performance. Like, it has lost its intimacy, it's lost its romanticism, and now it's a performance. Because it's very, being inside someone is definitely a step above, like, kissing someone for a movie, I think.
Percent of the things I do on camera, I do not want to do in my room. I'm not like swinging off of a Tarzan vine and backflipping onto him or anything like that.
If something feels good and like you feel like you want to finish, you can. If you're filming, it's like, wait, we still have 2 more positions to do.
I'm kind of having sex backwards. I'm opening up for angles so you guys can see the light and the camera guy can see what's going on. You're not in a private, personal setting.
My sex life is a much more intimate life. I think it's more of a feeling than it is what you actually see. Being able to cry maybe during sex, or maybe even just feeling very...
Did they just say that they cry during sex? I wonder why that is. Like, you gotta wonder, you know, that seems like something that someone who's gone through trauma would do to me. Right? Let me know in the chat, guys, if I'm wrong here and you guys cry during sex as a normal thing. Like, you guys are having regular sex. It's not your first time and you're crying? You're viewing being sad during sex as your version of intimacy. That's very warped, in my opinion.
Personal setting.
My sex life is a much more intimate life. I think
Sex
it's
life, they do quotients.
more of a feeling than it is what you actually see. Being able to cry maybe during sex, or maybe even just feeling very vulnerable during sex. I don't necessarily go to that space a lot within my pornography because I'm not sure people actually want to see that. Most people just want to see sex.
You'll have
Again, they're trying to separate the two, and it's causing a lot of dysfunction, and they're having to operate very strangely. And you can tell just by like that answer, for example, with the whole like crying during sex, you know, they just mention it as the first thing off the top of their head. That's the thing. It wasn't just like that was in their mind to just say, to just put it out there like, oh yeah, you know, that's something I do. I act traumatized during sex.
have good sex
Gotta wonder why.
on set, but you don't get to really build it up to the point that you're getting to really know a person intimately. Like, you get to go out, you get to have drinks, you get to eat with a person, you get to know them. That's the fun
Right.
part. That's the experience. And then
Right.
eventually, if this is the difference, if you want to have sex, you can.
How has your
So that person seems to understand that concept more about intimacy and being intimate with another person and the value for it. So my question is, if this person truly values that experience they just described, I don't understand how they could do this job. Maybe it's like, I use the term job very lightly. I refer to it as prostitution because by definition it is. It's just turning a camera on. Just as OnlyFans is prostitution, you are selling a sexual activity. You're exchanging, it's transactional for intending to sexually please someone. So I don't understand how they could deal with that. Maybe it's different for a guy. Maybe they handle that a little differently. But I know as a woman, it would be a lot more difficult. Not to say that there aren't, for example, promiscuous women, because there's definitely a lot, especially nowadays, the archetype of the modern woman and such.
If this is the difference. If you want to have sex, you can.
How has your job affected your sex life? Has it ruined it? No, I feel like my job gave me like superpowers. Because of my job, I'm super open. So I feel like it's easier to get to that point in the relationship of like breaking down all those sexual barriers and just jumping into the fun stuff.
In the beginning,
I have to question what she considers fun during sex. Like, if you're saying you're very open, that sounds like a nice thing to say, but in actuality, is it? Is it really a nice thing to be open to whatever the other person wants to do? Like, pee on you, beat you, choke you in like a super violent way. Like, as in like, you need a what do you call it? Like a soft word? You need a, what do you call it? When you say like pineapple or whatever. Like, you're saying you're very open, so you're gonna like insert foreign objects up you. You're gonna let them treat your body like that. Like, that to me sounds like someone who has a problem with boundaries, and that's not surprising coming from a porn star. Again, this is in my opinion, but I think it's pretty obvious that when you say, oh, I'm very open, it doesn't mean that you're open-minded. It just means that you don't have good boundaries, I think. Yeah, what I meant to say earlier was safety word. Like, when you have to go that hard and do all these things that are only things people do once they are exposed to excessive pornography, by the way. People only get into this wild stuff like defecation and peeing on each other and beating each other and when you have to get tools involved with sex. I just think you're going in the wrong direction. I think something's wrong there. I don't think that sex should require tools in order for it to happen. You shouldn't need objects, and the point is, though, that when you're saying you're open-minded, you're saying in terms of sexually, it's less about that you're caring for what your partner wants, and I think it's more about like you're okay with them doing whatever they want to you because you don't really respect yourself or your body. That's how I'm hearing it.
Beginning of my career, I kind of got in this mindset where I was like, if I'm not getting paid to have sex, I'm not doing it. This is my job. I am now professional, and when you do something professional, you're getting paid for it forever. And then I fell in love.
Well, this isn't very expected of most people, but
I'm sorry, but I have to just say, like, with the girl saying that that she's a professional. They act as if there's a lot of skill involved, and they always try to play it up to make it seem like prostitution is skillful when it's not. The whole appeal of prostitution is that it takes no work or skill, that anybody can do it and you make money. It may not be a lot of money, only the top % are making a lot of money and everyone else is making below what a Walmart employee makes. But the whole appeal is that anybody can do it. So I noticed that they tend to try to make themselves feel better as a cope by trying to play up like what they have to do as if it takes a lot of effort. If anybody's had sex before, especially women, you know it's not any sort of effort to really make a man finish. It takes about 0 effort to open your legs, and I just don't think that it's what they're saying it is in terms of hard. I think it's hard in the sense of the mental turmoil it gives you. I think that prostitution is hard in the sense of what it does to you mentally and emotionally and to your soul, but I don't think it takes a lot of skill to do, if any at all. Like, wow, you opened your legs. Oh, wow, you had to open your legs in the direction of the camera. Okay. Like, you're coping. You're trying to make it into an art and something that it's not. And it's not art because it's intended for masturbation. And it took no skill.
This isn't very expected of most people, but I'm actually asexual, so I don't have much of a sex life in general. It's like your partner liking football and you not, so you'll go to a football game with him occasionally, but it's not like you're going to be going to football games by yourself or all the time.
I just don't think she comes across as mentally well, honestly.
It's a really big decision to come out as asexual. That immediately can drop your amount of subscribers or followers. I mean, the entire idea of the adult industry is to construct a fantasy, and that fantasy is destroyed when you tell people you aren't sexually interested in them.
I don't know, I kind of feel like maybe her asexuality has something to do with what led her to being a porn star or a online prostitute. Personally, that would be my guess. Because it's awfully weird that you would have some sort of conflict with your sexuality and then resort to that. So I'm willing to believe that something happened to this person. Maybe they were a victim of some sort of trauma. I don't know. That would be my guess. I think it's, I don't know, a defense mechanism, I guess would be the term.
I'm starting to believe now I'm asexual because
A lot of
I
these
don't
people
wanna
are
have sex
using
with
that.
anybody at this point.
Wait, did she just say she's asexual too?
People you aren't sexually interested in them.
I'm starting to believe now I'm asexual because I don't want to have sex with anybody at this point.
What a coincidence that both of them are asexual. It's almost like being a prostitute or being a porn star, the glorifying term for it, when you put a camera on, has something to do with it. It's almost like being a porn star has something to do with them being asexual. Like, I want to look up really quick on Google how many people, percentage in the population, identify as asexual. I'm sure there's a statistic on it. How many people are asexual? says asexuality is uncommon identity and is popularly cited to be only 1% of the population, but is reported to be as high as 4% for individuals age 18 through 24. So you have a range between 1 and 4% chance of someone being asexual, and it just happens to be that both these people are a rare and uncommon sexual identity that has to do with not liking being intimate with people. Connect the dots here as for why. There's no way you could sit here and be like, I don't think being a porn star has anything to do with that. What a coincidence. Definitely not trauma. Definitely not a coping mechanism or anything. She was just talking about how intimate she can be off camera. I know. Earlier, she literally just 2 minutes ago in this video, she talked about how her sex life is intimate and she could touch the person. And now she's saying, oh, actually, I'm asexual. I can't connect with anyone. Like, this is crazy. This is not normal. This is what it does to you. Not only being a porn star, but watching porn. This is what it does to you.
Now I'm asexual because I don't want to have sex with anybody at this point. I think I'm starting to become numb. I don't know what to tell you, but
Gee, I wonder why that could be. It couldn't be because, you devalued sex by giving it away for money over and over, right? Couldn't possibly be that. What a coincidence that guys, it is a complete coincidence that 2 porn stars here are asexual.
When I entered in the sex industry, I was 18, and I first started off as...
That sounds like grooming to me. 18? Listen, red flags are going off and waving in the air up high if you just turn 18 and you enter the world of pornography or prostitution. If you enter the world of prostitution when you turn 18, someone groomed you. Like, no doubt. You don't just think of on your own by yourself in your room, you know what? I think I shall sell my body for money today. No, there has to be things leading up to that, whether it's the media being pushed down your throat, these YouTubers making videos saying to join OnlyFans and putting their OnlyFans referral links so they make money off of it when you click it, and it's not even age restricted, so kids are seeing it, and then they're like, when I turn 18, I'll click it. This is what happens. There's no way a teenager that's 18 is just like, you know what? I think I shall become a prostitute today. There's a reason why the percentage is going up with OnlyFans and people joining it. So much so that they had to lower the referral rate. It's because of the influence and people trying to promote it and saying it's a good thing. So I'm inclined to believe that due to influences, or maybe she was had trauma, whatever it is, bad family upbringing, these are all things that happen to sex trafficked victims. These things lead up to you joining this world of prostitution and selling your body. Trauma, having a bad upbringing. Like, read any sort of book on sex trafficking. It's like the 101 on it. So, like I was saying, I really just doubt that she, on her own, with no influence, decided to become a prostitute at the age of 18. That's a red flag. I'm pretty sure she was groomed. I don't know an explanation where you would have it to where they wouldn't be, if they had a good upbringing and a good family, especially.
As an escort, I was having sex with almost 6 guys a day. And now that I'm 23, I feel like I've hit a wall when it comes to sex. It takes a lot to get me horny. And I think that has a lot to do with me seeing so many sex partners when I was younger. So, yeah.
I'm glad that she's upfront about that, but I don't know if she understands that. I don't know why she would continue to partake in pornography. It's clearly done a total destruction to her soul. It has damaged her soul. It has totaled her soul. And she knows it, and she's still doing it. She's saying that she was escorting. That's basically a street prostitute, guys. People who go in the street and sell themselves also on some days of the week go inside and do it too. It's not like, oh, one's higher quality than the other. It's the same pussy. It's the same one. They like alternate between the street and indoors. Or at least they did a lot before OnlyFans.
To get me horny. And I think that has a lot to do with me seeing
Her
so many
arousal was
sex
affected.
partners when I was younger. So, yeah.
She needs help.
I think that's what it is.
Not this.
How
not
often
this.
is the sex on screen actually pleasurable for you? Are the orgasms real? It was really rare, and I couldn't even tell you the scenes that I actually did because I was so focused on performing.
To be honest, I would probably say 40%.
I thought you were supposed to fake it, so I would just go in there and be like, "Wah, tomato." I don't know.
How I want to answer this is yes, yes, yes. As a porn consumer, I notice when people aren't connecting, and that doesn't turn me on. So for me, my co-star, whoever I'm working with, we have to have a sexual connection.
That's
I would say almost
interesting.
every single one of
That's interesting. It seems like they are interested in how the consumer feels, as if this were like a heartfelt industry of a charitable. He's acting as if Pornhub is a charitable industry, despite the amounts of sex trafficking that allegedly happen there, to where they have to remove all their videos that aren't verified, which we know their verification system is BS and they don't even require ID, so you can literally lie. But yeah, you know, we're gonna care about the viewer, care about us, care about them damaging their brains watching our content and destroying their sex lives. Because just like how it happens to the porn stars, it happens to the consumer too, and people get addicted. It's a reason why a lot of divorces happen. It ruins relationships, it ruins intimacy, ruins romance. So I don't know why this person's over here acting like, oh, they care so much. Like, you're contributing to people giving themselves brain damage.
co-star, whoever I'm working with, we have to have a sexual connection. I would say almost every single one of my scenes I have actually had a real orgasm. I'm not gonna bring you on set and not orgasm. I'm not wasting that time.
Of course, I'm a guy, so we have to really orgasm, or else we don't get paid.
If you can't finish, then they'll fake it for you. So it'd be like a tube, and you would like shoot out like fake. Every shoot, like.
What? What? How do you guys watch this stuff and get off to it knowing that they do stuff like that? They're sticking straws down their pee-pees. You guys are getting off to videos where guys are sticking straws down their pee-pees to get liquid out? Oh my god. I'm assuming that this is a guy person, a male person. I don't know if they're artificially male to female or female to male. So, disclaimer if I misgender someone, I just simply don't know. But holy hell. Like I said, when you gotta get tools involved, you're going down the wrong road when it comes to intimacy. It's no longer intimate.
Like I've ever done, like at least one point we had to like stop, eat something, or like drink water, or like something to like get us back in the
I need
spirits.
tea.
Do you watch porn now for pleasure, or does it feel like work? I'm a full-on porn consumer. Now that we have COVID.
Why do they
kidding,
laugh
but
so
actually-
much?
First of all, it can't be a studio porn. Like, if I know that
About
Brazzers or
this.
Evil Angel
It's
did
weird.
it, I'm not watching it. So it has to be amateur. I have to believe that it was real.
It's funny that you ask. The only reason why I don't watch porn is because I'm asexual. I just don't have any particular interest in it.
My co-stars, they're great looking people, but I don't know, I feel weird watching them have sex.
That's exactly how your family feels watching you.
I'm like, I gotta film with this person tomorrow. I just had coffee with this person.
Like, guys, I'm sorry. Imagine that someone has coffee, like she's saying, and they like are like, oh hey, I know you. I know you from prostituting yourself online. Hey, what's up? I'm a huge fan. It's just dysfunctional. Or like your family has to watch that, or God forbid, like one of your friends that's friends with your significant others like watching it. Like, it's just weird. It's weird. Or like your significant other's boss is jerking it to like your intentional sex. Like, it's not like, oh, you know, guys jerk off to anything. Like, no, she's doing this intending for it to be masturbation material. It's just so dysfunctional. It's gross.
It's kind of like watching your cousin have sex. Like, you don't want to watch your cousin have sex.
I'll be watching a porn and I'm really judgmental on the guys. I'm like, what's he doing? He's not opening up. I can't see what's going on. Oh, I'm gonna change this video. This guy's not opening up.
Do you ever rewatch your own scenes you've done?
I rewatch my own scenes to critique myself, and that is it.
For pleasure.
I cannot imagine. I never even thought of this, that they have to, like, I know that they know it's out there, like with OnlyFans girls, for example, like they know their stuff is out there and it traumatizes them years later and does mental damage to them and such. But I never thought about, like, with porn stars in particular, how they can go and watch their own material. I can't imagine what that does to your self-esteem, because let me tell you guys, as a streamer, I know what it's like to have to watch myself and what that does to my self-esteem, right? Having to edit it and listen to my voice, and, you know, I'm like looking at my flaws. I'm like, ugh, look at how my face is moving and things like that. So I know how that feels. So I can't imagine what that's like to go and do something that's supposed to be sacred and intimate and then have the whole world watch it and then watch myself do that and knowing I did that for money. And it's like, you're seeing me in my most vulnerable state and people are jerking it to it. Like, I just can't imagine. I would feel horrible. I would feel horrible having to watch myself do that, knowing that I'm doing it for money and I'm being subject to that. I don't know. It's just beyond words. I don't have the words to describe how much mental damage that would cause me.
I usually watch my own because I remember the sensation and the feeling.
That's interesting.
I usually watch my own because I remember the sensation and the feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, I do, but it's kind of weird. Like, I'm watching them to make sure that I did good. Like,
So that's interesting. So the previous girl here, she said she watches them to kind of relive it. But she's saying that she's numb to it. So basically, she's kind of like how porn consumers literally get brain damage from watching porn, because that's how addiction works and it affects your romantic life. She's giving herself brain damage by her own porn. That's some Inception crap right there.
I usually watch my own because I remember the sensation.
Like, you gave
and the
yourself
feeling.
brain death.
yeah. Yeah, I do, but it's kind of weird. Like, I'm watching them to make sure that I did good. Like,
Why are they all
viewable
so
for people
nervous
trying
about
to,
this? They're like giggling all the time.
Get their jollies off.
How do you protect yourself from STIs and a pregnancy? I know girls who are just on birth control, and I know girls who are not on birth control, and they just don't shoot when they're ovulating.
We get tested so often. Every 14 days, and then sometimes it's like more frequently than every 14 days.
Not to say that we don't catch the couple little bacterial infections here and there. It's kind of part of the job, but we try.
No. She's saying that getting bacterial infections in your coochie is just part of the job. Oh, how was birthday? Oh yeah, you know, I got a pussy infection. Yeah, I got some foreign bacteria in my cunt. Just a normal day at work. Yeah, it's a normal happy job. Oh no, this is so nasty. I wasn't expecting to hear that. I didn't even want to think about that. Imagine the smell! Because they don't catch infections, she's saying. Like, small infections. So, like, I don't know if you guys know this, but when you get one, it smells. Oh, does that mean that the guys have crusty ding-dongs too? Oh, I'm cringing.
Try to be very careful with it.
My sets are only safe sex, so I'm condom only. We clean our sets. I mean, I've been to sets that are pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. But sets I use and where I shoot, we always make sure everything is clean. We make sure everything is comfortable.
I feel sick. I literally feel like I have to throw up now. Thank God I didn't eat dinner before watching this, honestly, because I feel sick to my stomach. It's hard to watch.
Or develop feelings for a co-star or a hooked up actor filming. Ooh. Ooh. Yes, the tea is hot. The majority of the people are pretty hot, so it's hard not to.
Yeah.
It was actually the first guy that I filmed with. So I had like this huge crush on him. I was just amazed by the way he threw it on me.
Okay, I have a question. So I don't know if they'll ask this, but I wonder if they're saying yes to this, if the person that they had sex with after filming with them, if they together go back and watch their porn.
I have seen problems
Together.
happen between Oh yes, jealousy. I've seen it happen if the partner isn't shooting with their own partner, or all of a sudden the other partner who's in porn doesn't want the other partner to do porn anymore.
Probably not.
Well, then just
My
don't
job
date them.
is a full-time job, and it's a real relief to be able to be with someone that takes me away from that a little.
What's the worst part?
She wants to be taken away from doing pornography. Anyone have any idea why? Beats me.
To be able to be with someone that takes me away from that a little.
What's the worst part of the job? I always tell this to people. I wouldn't change anything about my job. I would change the way people and society view my job.
I know girls who just got a brand new apartment and
Isn't that the same girl who talked about how she gets a pussy infection from her job? Hold on.
Control, and I know girls who are not on birth control and they just don't shoot when they're ovulating.
We get tested so often. Every 14 days, and then sometimes it's like more frequently than every 14 days.
Not to say that we don't catch the couple little bacterial infections here and there. It's kind of part of the job, but we try to be very careful with it.
But she wouldn't change anything about her job, okay? It's an amazing job where you get bacterial infections deep inside of you from other people's nasty scrot skin, okay? Got it. All right, where were we in the video? Sorry. Over here.
found out what they did to neighbors. And then the girls who
About my job, I would change the way
She says that okay, listen.
I always tell this to people. I wouldn't change anything about my job. I would change the way people and society view my job.
I would change the fact that there are allegedly kids getting sex trafficked on all these sites that their porn gets posted on. That's what I would change personally. Or people getting exploited or being subject to doing this because they have no other real choice to get money, or because they were groomed into it, so they think it's normal and okay when actually it's going to affect them down the road, or just maybe not get a yeast infection.
I know
Up your
girls
cooter.
who just got a brand new apartment and moved in there, and they
Or
found
an
out what
STI.
they did to neighbors, and then they like send their pictures to everybody in the complex and be like, "Oh, this girl does porn. Make sure you watch out for her." Like stuff like that really does happen.
The mainstream and the world.
And that's why you shouldn't do pornography, because there's consequences to it. They want to do something that is inherently unhealthy but receive no consequences for it. That's not how life works. You do something unhealthy, there's going to be consequences for it. If I eat 20 cupcakes, well, guess what? I'm going to be gaining some weight, and maybe I'm not going to fit in my swimsuit. So I'm not going to keep eating cupcakes if I don't want to gain the weight. There's accountability to that. And it's just like with what she said about how she would just change how people view it. No, they should view it the way that they view it. It should be stigmatized because it's not an ideal job. It's not ideal to get an infection up your twat. It's not an ideal job to devalue something that's supposed to be the most intimate thing in your life and the most sacred thing possible. Like having someone else inside of you. That's not something to be done lightly. It creates life. And it's being devalued by this job. That's a valid reason for it to be stigmatized. But they don't want the consequence. They want the cake, but they want to, what's the saying? Don't have your cake and eat it too. That applies here.
sure you watch out for her. Like, stuff like that really does happen.
The mainstream and the world hates pornography. And I'm
Be
not sure
different
if
if
we'll ever be
I'm sorry, one more thing. It would be different if they were exiting away from this lifestyle and it'd be a little different in the sense of like, okay, well, they no longer want this consequence, but they know the consequences to some extent, not all of it, obviously, or they wouldn't keep doing it. And they keep doing it, and then they keep getting consequences. They're like, why am I getting consequences for doing something unhealthy that also infects other people, makes them unhealthy by their porn habits and watching it and making it so sex is devalued for them too. There's like, how many people in the population watch porn in first world country? It's very high. It's like over 90%. So you're infecting people with this degrading thing, degrades the human body, degrades romance, degrades the person doing it. And you're just like, it shouldn't be stigmatized. What's wrong? What's everyone's problem with this? Maybe the fact that it causes divorces, for example. Maybe the fact that it causes trafficking, mental illness, all these things. But no, we can't have consequences for bad actions or bad choices. And they continue to do it. They don't stop doing it.
The mainstream and the world hates pornography. And I'm not sure if we'll
Oh, really? Oh, really? I am actually shocked that they said that the mainstream hates pornography. It is literally the unpopular opinion to say that porn is bad and to say that you don't watch porn or that you don't want to date someone that watches porn. Do you guys know how many dislikes I got on my video when I first made a video about how I will not date somebody who watches porn? There was so much pushback on that video. It was way before the whole anti-porn movement had really taken off at all. Let me look it up and show you guys how bad. Let's see if I can find the video still. Here it is. Oh wait, it's not that one. It was the one before that. Here it is. Okay, so the like ratio got better over time because the anti-porn movement rose up. But before, this dislike ratio was a lot worse. And you can already see 1/3 of people. And if you go through the comments, there were so many people saying how I'm wrong, and they were coping because their boyfriends watch porn and it's okay and you're just a prude, and insults and all this and that. There's so much pushback for saying you're anti-porn, and hardly anyone speaks up about it. And we have this huge push from mainstream media trying to legitimize and normalize prostitution by calling it sex work because it's the politically correct term to call it. Because literally, I made a video on this if you guys want to watch it. A person named Carol Leigh invented the term sex work. They were a prostitute. They were this is in the 1970s for OnlyFans, so you can't say, oh, but you used the word prostitute liberally. No, they were in the street prostituting themselves. And they created this word, sex work, to destigmatize the term prostitute, to destigmatize what they do. That's literally what they said. They're part of Coyote, which is call off your old tired ethics. And it's a prostitution group, basically, pro-sex work group. And that's why they use it. They use the term sex work to destigmatize prostitution, to take away the bad aspects of it, to have better optics so it's more appealing. So they basically don't want to take accountability, or they don't want to deal with the consequence of being a prostitute. So they go and try to make other people join in by making it look more appealing because that normalizes it, but they don't care that it ruins other people's lives. All they care about is, oh, I want it to sound nicer. I don't want to be seen as bad. I don't want consequences for what I do. So for him to say that the mainstream is anti-porn is so wrong. Like, the amount of pro-porn, pro-cuck, open relationship, cheat on your boyfriend, the amount of articles you see online, it is just wild. What a planet. What, is he in a different country?
The mainstream and the world hates pornography.
Are you in a different country? Is he going to say just kidding after this? He better say just kidding after this.
pornography. And I'm not sure if we'll ever be accepted. And also the fact that I'm a man who has a vagina.
Okay, I'm not even going to process that last statement, but literally everyone online is shilling for OnlyFans and Pornhub. If you dare to speak out against porn, like even among some conservatives, like they will defend their right to jerk their pee-pee to the end, even if it's at the expense of other people. Because my pee-pee hard, that's all that matters. Doesn't matter the ethics of it, doesn't matter, it does brain damage to everyone else, doesn't matter. My pee-pee hard. And we have this whole, in the current state of our culture, it's all about, oh, what makes my pee-pee hard? My pee-pee hard. How do you work things out logically? Oh, does this make my pee-pee hard? Then I do it. It good. They're on a completely different, they're in a different universe. They're in another atmosphere to even make this statement about how it's, there's so much pushback. No, it's literally being normalized, and like over 90% of people consume porn.
So that's a whole other level. But what I do is I fight against it. Porn would not be as big as it is if people didn't consume it. This is what I keep trying to tell the world.
Society hasn't accepted adult entertainers yet, and it really limits what
These people are delusional. These people are straight delusional. The amount of pushback I get for being anti-porn from outside of my own community and in my community sometimes is insane. When Pornhub, just for a frame of reference, I covered this in a live stream a while back, and it has like the Pornhub logo in the thumbnail. It's in my anti-porn playlist, but when Pornhub, I think it was that video, but anyway, I've definitely covered it. When Pornhub had to shut down all of their content because of potential sex trafficking, because in the past there was a kid that got exploited on their site, and this has happened before, allegedly, and they went and took down everything so they wouldn't get in trouble that wasn't verified. Again, even though their verification system is garbage, it doesn't require ID anyway. And you saw all these coomers, all these perverts, all these sexual deviants freaking the F out. They were losing their mind. They're like, no, I can't jerk my donkey wonky, no! And they were like raging. Like people online were having meltdowns on everywhere. On that Reddit, I think I covered it on that live stream. The reactions people had where they were crying. How could they do this? I had years of porn saved. It's like, you need to reevaluate yourself. You're over here collecting porn like it's a hobby. You're treating this like it's a hobby. It's causing you brain damage. And it's clear to see that you have it already. And everyone was freaking out. Like, this was the general reaction. Everyone was freaking out. And like, no, you can't. Who cares if people get harmed from porn? My pee-pee hard. These people, I'm sorry, these prostitutes are delusional.
I can do with my future.
Literally, guys, I'm sorry, but literally casual sex is the norm now. Degeneracy, deviancy, sexual deviancy is the norm. Literally, they have a whole apps for this. They have multiple apps for this. This is common. Wanting a stable relationship is the unpopular opinion. It is the uncommon thing to do now. People just have sex casually. And it goes hand in hand with consuming porn too. It's being sexually open. So I don't understand how they can possibly just lie to themselves and be like, because I deal with consequences from some people, wow, porn isn't accepted by the mainstream. Yes, it is. It's just that you're having to deal with some of the consequences. But that doesn't change the fact that every social media platform, media outlet is basically pro-porn. Every person online, basically, vast majority, is pro-porn. Most people consume porn. Over 90% of people consume porn, and it goes up and up and up. So how can you even say that, oh, it's not accepted? It doesn't make sense.
I'm a violinist, and it was part of my life goals to conduct a high school orchestra one day.
Oh, really? No one cares. Want to know why no one cares? Because unfortunately, guys, that's the consequence of prostituting yourself, and this is why you shouldn't do it and why it affects you mentally. She could be the world's most talented violinist. Nobody's gonna care because all they see you as is masturbation material. That's what you are to these people that consume your content. That's it. There's no intellectual entertainment involved. You can lie to yourself and say it's theater or art all day long, but we all know why they're watching it, because that's what it was made for. It's made for the purpose of masturbation. Inherently the main purpose. So you can't be here like, oh, you know, I have other qualities. I'm like the world's best artist. Okay, sweetie, yeah, tell me more. Tell me more about how you're the world's best artist. Oh yeah. That's how that's what they hear. That they don't care about you as a person. That's why pornography is dehumanizing. It's dehumanizing because of that. Why do you think they don't care you're a violinist? They don't care because you've been dehumanized. You are now jerk-off material. That's all you are to them. So I don't know why she's over here pretending that anybody cares that she's a violinist. Like, generally speaking, they don't. And I'm sorry. It's not that I'm like, the point is, with me saying this, is that nobody is going to value you past that, because you've already degraded yourself and lowered yourself to being a sexual slave, basically. You're giving away the most intimate thing about you, the most sacred thing about you, for money. So, if she wanted to be valued to be a violinist, she should have been a violinist. That's what she should have went with. I'm sorry to say, but that's the reality. And you could be a scientist, but the minute you do porn, you're a porn star. You're no longer a scientist. There's a reason people view it like that, because it's dehumanizing.
I can't do that anymore. That is sacrifice. That is gone. The next job interview I go for after this, I might not get it just because the fact that my nudes are on the internet.
Nervously laughs like that's a good thing. Guys, are you watching the same video I am? Because this is so dysfunctional. How she has to explain how she can't function in normal society because she volunteered to prostitute herself. That's not healthy. That's not normal. That's not good. That's not empowering.
Next job interview I go for after this, I might not get it just because the fact that my nudes are on the internet.
And she's giggling about it out of nervousness. That's not a good thing. And you could say, oh, well, you know, she's a girl. She could just like marry and have money and children and have the guy be a provider. Yeah, but what high value man will marry a porn star? No high value men, unless they're absolutely betas, they're like, let you walk all over them. No high value man, which they wouldn't be a high value man. No high value man is going to want a prostitute as a stay at home mom. No high value man is going to want a porn star to be their wife and the mother of their children and introduce them to their family. They're automatically, for having that standard, they're going to be a low value male. But like, you know, teehee, I can't get a job or a husband, teehee. Like, this is not good. This is why it's not good. This video highlights everything about why it's not good.
How is the topic of consent handled on set? Very important.
Oh, I love this question. Thank you for asking that question. Earlier on, porn was not about consent. We didn't have these regimented rules that we have today. People would just show up, have sex. If the girl didn't want to do anal, tough, you're doing anal. I mean, there's been lots of that happening. So that doesn't happen as much anymore.
When you're on set, there's like a checklist of like what you agree to do, and like you talk with the director and your partner. Consent is like my favorite thing, and I think it's hot. Like one of my scenes the other day, like the guy was like, "Can I do this to your vagina?" And I was like, "Can I do this to your penis?"
I get asked to do a lot of really, really bizarre, outrageous things.
That's not a shock. They're saying it's consensual, but let's be real. If there weren't a lot of money involved, chances are they wouldn't be doing it. Of course, there's promiscuous people in the world, but the reason they do this and the reason people go on OnlyFans isn't for fun. It's usually because of some mental illness where they need validation from people because they had a bad upbringing, or because of financial situation, and they're willing to get exploited because of their financial situation. And at that point, is it really consent where you're having to do it for money? Are they all just really the 0.1% of people who, you know, they just magically enjoy being dehumanized, and that's completely healthy apparently? I just don't think so.
The list is just a mile long. Role play involving race or rape play, I'm not comfortable with that. I got a lot of requests for custom orders from white supremacists. I practice a philosophy called enthusiastic.
Okay, the fact that she said that. You're telling me white supremacists. Okay, I'm gonna go on a limb here. And guess that she's Jewish. You're telling me that white supremacists, naturally, who are usually referred to as anti-Semites, right, asked her to do things sexually to please them.
Requests for custom orders from white supremacists. I practice a philosophy called enthusiastic consent. So unless if I'm absolutely enthusiastic to post it, I do not create it.
Do you think experiences where boundaries were maybe crossed for you?
Definitely. And I think like I played a part in that mostly because I wasn't aware.
Oh, also, let me ask another question. I'm sorry. Another question I have in regard to the whole consent thing is, they're saying it's consensual, but for example, did that girl earlier, this one over here, did she consent to having her sex life feel numb? Was that consensual too? Or like, what about the instances where porn stars have traumatic experiences? They're over here saying, oh, you know, it's all consensual and safe, and we are squeaky clean and have padded rooms. But there's horror stories from porn. I actually have a few right here that I can read to you guys. Just give me 1 second to pull it up. And by the way, we will play donations after, and we do have video donations on. Okay. So this one is Emily Eve. I shot scenes where I had to pretend to be dead and let someone R-word my body. I came home bruised and sometimes a little bloody from the rough scenes. They slapped me and spit on me and called me horrible things. Time after time, I would go home and cry myself to sleep. I feared what the next day would bring. This one's from a person named Lennon, unless I mistyped that. These are, I think, cited from... Let me just pull up my book really quick. I believe these were cited from The Porn Myth by Matthew Fradd. That's where I got these from. Anyway, ex-porn star tells truth about porn. Not surprisingly, alcohol and drugs are often used and freely distributed on a porn set. Gee, I wonder why that is. That wouldn't affect consent or anything at all, right? Used and freely distributed on a porn set, sometimes to numb the physical and emotional pain, and sometimes to numb the mind so that a man or a woman can zone out during a shoot. You know, disassociate. Something that you do when something traumatic happens. Ex-performer Jersey Jackson, is that actually his name? Jersey Jackson, explain, guys are punching you in the face, you get ripped. Your insides can come out of you. It's never ending. You're viewed as an object, not as a human with a spirit. People do drugs because they can't handle the way that they're being treated. Indeed, many porn stars report they routinely binge on ecstasy, cocaine, marijuana, Xanax, Valium, Visodin, we're getting to drugs I don't even know how to pronounce, and alcohol. Here's another one. Porn stars Shelby Lubin, Jesse Summers. I did gonzo porn to start out, and it was the most degrading, embarrassing, horrible thing ever. I had to shoot an interactive DVD which takes hours and hours of shooting time with a 104-degree fever. I was crying and wanted to leave, but my agent wouldn't let me. Hickson would never to me. He said he couldn't let me fake it. He said he couldn't let me flake on it. And I have more here. That's not the end of it. These aren't just like, oopsie, 1 in a millions. Like, there's quite a bit of these to read off. So those are just some examples of you know, consensual sex, apparently. Very safe and consensual sex. So, either they are being, they either don't realize it somehow, which I kind of doubt, or they're lying when they're talking about how safe and consensual it is. I think they're just trying to make what they do sound good and more appealing for a cope to feel good about themselves. When in reality, if they want to feel good about themselves, they should just leave the porn industry. And which is hard to. I know it is, because they apparently will like, well, now you can't get a job and we're only going to pay you $500 for this. Oh, you don't want to? Well, how else are you going to get money? And you're stuck. Just like that, you're stuck. So, no, it's not this nice thing that they're saying. This is not true.
I'm not comfortable with that. I got a lot of requests for custom
They're just
orders from
actors,
white
bro.
supremacists.
Yeah. They're just actors, bro. They're just doing art. It's just a movie, bro, with, you know, getting their body parts ripped open and bleeding. Why do we lie about this if it's such a good job? Why are we lying about it then? We wouldn't have to use nice words to describe it if it were a good job, so to speak. Anyway, where were we? About white supremacists.
Enthusiastic to post it, I do not create it.
Are you been in experiences where boundaries were maybe crossed for you?
Definitely. And I think like I played a part in that mostly because I wasn't aware of how to like articulate my boundaries, or wasn't aware of what my boundaries were. I would just like agree to everything without like asking what that entails.
Yeah.
Didn't I say that earlier?
And,
Didn't I say that one of these people sounded like they had a boundary problem earlier? This seems to be a reoccurring thing, and it's not very surprising that they have issues setting boundaries.
What that entails.
Yeah, I was, and I felt like it was a setup. And the crazy thing was, I was excited to shoot for that company because they're one of the biggest companies on Pornhub, and I felt really comfortable. I'm like, okay, the makeup artist
On
is here.
Pornhub.
This other assistant,
Surely this will be a
she's
good
here. Usually when
experience.
there's women on set, I really let my guard down. And me and the director, we started taking photos, and I noticed the house got quiet. And I asked the director, I was like, where are the two women? He was like, oh, they left. And when me and him started filming, he was so rough. And I am a victim of rape. So, like, the things that he was doing, my body just, like, shut down, and it was just so painful having sex with him. By the time I
And
got
there you
home,
go. There's an experience right there. It happens. But, you know, it's all squeaky clean, and we have a form that we write down what we are okay doing, and we'll share the penis and give it some kisses and some smooches. But in reality, it's a predatory industry. It's inherently exploitative. It is, by definition, predatory. And it's not how the other two were saying. It's more like how she's saying that, like, we can't just pretend that doesn't happen. Like, sure, they have these squeaky clean forms and stuff. Maybe if you're the top 10 porn star, okay, but what about everyone else? Everyone else. And this girl in this video, she's clearly big enough to be in this video, and even she went through it. So imagine what the average person getting exploited for pornography goes through. Imagine.
I was just so tired and exhausted, and I locked myself in my room for like 2 days.
Please tell me, guys, at what other job that you get raped? At what other job do you get touched sexually unconsensually? Sure, it happens, but it seems to be like a thing that happens a lot with this one. It's almost like it's not healthy and it's not safe.
Because I couldn't believe what I had gone through.
Do you ever worry about the way the porn industry portrays sex? Yes. The biggest critique I have about the porn industry is it lacks any sense of intimacy, any sense of realness.
This may be an
Why would it? Why would it have intimacy when it inherently devalues intimacy and romance and dehumanizes people, as that girl said earlier with what she went through? Why? How? Okay, this girl is so far removed from reality if she thinks that it is realistic to have intimate and true sex in front of a camera for the purpose of making money and for people to jack off to. That's dysfunctional. You're not going to get real intimacy from that. I mean, you could get like someone, maybe like their homemade first sex tape. I don't know. Like, she's a reoccurring porn star. I don't know how she has these sort of expectations.
Industry is it lacks any sense of intimacy, any sense of realness.
Yeah,
This
it does.
may be an unpopular
And
opinion,
it can't have
but
any.
I think that tube sites are a bad thing. The free porn world is putting out scenes, and it's so easy for children to just get on these sites and to learn from porn scenes.
Just for me as a performer, I really wanted
I 100% agree with her on the accessibility to children when it comes to porn. It should be ID verification at bare minimal to consume that type of stuff. You go to a store and try to get sex stuff, they ID you. It should be the same thing online. And if you're embarrassed, you're like, no, I don't want to give my ID because I'm embarrassed about my disgusting habits. Well, you know, that's your consequence. You're going to go and do that. You should deal with that. You have to man up and deal with that. You have to give your ID for that. Or just don't watch it. It's not good for you. You don't need it. Your butthole isn't going to explode from not watching it. You know, you're going to live. You're going to be okay. It's not essential for survival. But it is essential for some dysfunctional sex, you know?
to see.
Learn from porn scenes.
Just for
What was she
Get on
saying
these
earlier?
sites and to learn easy for children is putting out.
Oh, about the free porn stuff. So, I'm trying to find the statistic on this about how much of porn is free, but it's like a majority of it. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Oh yeah, by the way, in terms of porn consumption, the statistic here is that data from Pew Internet and American Life Project suggests that 70% of 15 to 17-year-old internet users accidentally view pornography very or somewhat often. So that's relevant. It's 43% of those surveyed, they started to view porn between the ages of 11 and 13. And 47% spend 30 minutes and 3 hours a day watching porn. Between 30 minutes and 3 hours a day watching porn. That was from Study Exposed to Secret World of Porn Addiction, University of Sydney, May 2012. So it's definitely gotten worse since then, by the way. And 93% of boys and 62% of girls in the United States see porn before the age of 18. And that is from, how do you read all this? Chiara, Sabina, Janice Wollock, and David Finkelhor, The Nature of Dynamics of Internet Pornography Exposure for the Youth. Cyber Psychology and Behavior 11, 2008. So again, once again, these statistics have 100% gone up. It's gotten worse over the years. Porn has become more accessible over the years. And according to a 2010 Youth Internet Safety Survey, a quarter of U.S. teens are exposed to porn online when they aren't looking for it. So she's definitely right about that. But yes, a large percent of porn is actually free, so it's intended that way for ad rev. So people are like, I don't support the porn industry, it's free. No, that's literally how they make their money. It's through ad rev. You giving them a view gives some money.
And it's
more realistic sex.
from porn scenes.
Just for me as a performer, I really wanted to see more realistic sex instead of something like, hi, my name's Tiffany, and then like anal sex ensues, you know, like like
Then
it's
don't
a
do
fantasy,
porn.
not realistic.
You don't see the behind the
You're
scenes.
part of the
the
problem.
discussion between the scene partners, and I wish us as porn stars, like, we would be more open and tell people like, hey, we gave consent for this. It's not okay to pick up a
Whoa. This is the same girl that 1 minute ago was talking about how she got raped on camera. This is the same girl that was talking about how she was traumatized from unconsensual sex from a porn scene. Something that happens regularly to porn stars, so to speak, porn stars. And now she's like, they just don't know that it's consensual. My mind is blown. This woman has contradicted herself so much throughout this video. Like, they have no self-awareness. None. Absolutely none. I can't believe what I'm hearing. This video is like 10 times worse than I thought it would be. I did not think it would prove any of my points this clearly. This video has proven all of my points against prostitution and pornography so far. It's almost over though.
A random girl at a bar and spit in her mouth and slap her.
Yeah, that is
straight porn.
weird and gross.
Hey, we gave consent for this. It's not okay to pick up a random girl at a bar and spit in her mouth and slap her.
And there's statistics for people committing more crimes against people sexually, and they're avid porn consumers. You can find that if you do research. I've mentioned it like 100 times in my content. I can see if I can find it real quick though about increase in violence. Here it is. So for example, according to a study of domestic violence victims' battery cases, including sexual violence when pornography is involved, the batterer's use of pornography and alcohol significantly increases a battered woman's odds of being sexually abused. Pornography alone increases the odds of sexual violence by a factor of almost 2. 40% of abused women indicated that their partner used violent pornography. Of those whose partner used pornography, 53% said that they had been asked or forced to enact scenes they had been shown, and 26% had been reminded of pornography by the abuser during the abuse. Of the 40% of who had been R-word, 73% said that their partners had used pornography. And that's from Janet H. Shope. When Words Are Not Enough, The Search for the Effect of Pornography and Abused Women. Violence Against Women, 10/01, January 2004. And, you know, as per usual, porn is more accessible, therefore everything has gone up over the years. It's 2021, so long time. The internet has gotten way more accessible with porn. But yeah, I have another example here, which is pornography has been shown to have a role in rape cases. In one study, 193 cases of rape, 24% of the rapists mention allusions to pornographic material. This is even more significant because the comments were made by the respondents without any solicitation or reference to the issue of pornography by the interviewer. The comments followed the same pattern. The assailant referred to pornographic material he had seen or read and then insisted that the victims not only enjoyed the unconsensual sex but also extreme violence. Interesting how they said he had seen or read, not she. So as you can see, porn is especially a big problem for men. And that is from Mimi H. Silber and Ayala M. Pines, Pornography and Sexual Abuse of Women, Sex Rules 10, NOS. 11 through 12 is the citation, June 1984. So once again, it's gone worse. It's gone way worse. So as bad as it sounds here when I'm reading it, it's gone at least like probably 10 times worse. So those are just a couple examples of what I'm talking about.
I feel in straight porn, it's a lot more aggressive. The woman is like always submissive, and I just feel like that's rooted in so much like hatred for women and like misogyny. Like a woman has to do what the man wants and like make him feel good.
I think
Yeah, I agree. I think it's pretty misogynistic to dehumanize women and have them be jerk-off material and get treated subhuman. I agree. For the men too, of course, but you know, I wouldn't partake in that industry personally. If I thought that was truly misogynistic, you know, maybe you should quit.
the porn industry is becoming a lot more diversified now. And I'm really excited to see how
even
platforms
more.
like OnlyFans adds a sense of realness back into adult material.
We're producing for you, the consumer who wants to watch it. We are in
We're
no
doing
way
it for
wanting
you.
children-
We're a charity. We're nice people for doing this. It's for you, not for me getting money. It's for you. I gave you brain damage for you. This person with their like charitable BS that they did earlier, now they're doing it again.
to watch it. We don't even think it's sex ed. It's a fantasy, it's fun. So for me, my work has
It's
always
fun?
been active.
I like to rewind to that one girl talking about her experience of being taken advantage of during one of these scenes. I'd like to refer to that for a minute.
And so really putting it out there and saying, look, I enjoy my life. I enjoy sex. People enjoy watching me have sex. It's a consensual thing between adults who are having a great time and giving it to you to watch to have a great time too. I don't worry about it,
We
but
know
I
it's
do
not
think
true.
the more we talk about it, it will be less stigmatized.
Man, that video, if anything, has pushed me further on my stance of being anti-pornography and anti-prostitution. It has like slammed my face into that wall. Like my face is sticking to the wall after that. But yeah, I hope that watching that video with you guys really helped educate you. Their intention was for this to educate you, like, oh, why porn is good. I'm sure that was their narrative based on what the porn stars were saying too, and coping and lying in some instances. But I hope that watching this together has made you realize that this has been educational for learning why you should never join any sort of prostitution. Join it like it's a club. You should never partake in any prostitution because it's bad for you and bad for your wellness. It's not healthy. It's not normal. It's dysfunctional. Dysfunctional people go into it for a reason. And I hope that you guys learned from the statistics I read, and hopefully you will consider this when you watch porn next time, in the harm that it causes, the industry causes to other people and to yourself.